Good. So we're going to spend a little bit of time tonight looking at taking care of your immune system. And of course, we're going to draw in my favorite topic, glutathione, into all of this. So the immune system, what do we mean by the immune system? Well, there are many definitions, but I think the simplest one is your body's defense system. And how do you take care of your immune system? Well, these defenses, we're not just talking about infections, we're talking about pollution, we're talking about chronic inflammation. But if you wanted to take care of your immune system, you'd probably get some really good advice just by asking your grandma. And grandma will tell you, eat well, sleep well, exercise, manage your stress, take care of your lifestyle. But there's one other topic that we need to add to this list. And that topic is raise your glutathione levels. Raise your glutathione levels. Now, let's get back to grandma's suggestions. Eat well. Well, do we eat well? Is it even possible to eat well? Well, I know a lot of you are trying to eat well, but eating well in 2023 is actually a pretty difficult thing to do. You think about the potato that my mother put on my plate when I was a kid and compare it to what you find at the market now, there is no comparison. What we've done to our soils, what we've done to our environment, and what we've actually done to the plants themselves through genetic manipulation and other interventions, you cannot compare the nutritional value of what you find today to what you did 25 or certainly 50 years ago. So you may be trying to eat well, but I think you're probably falling short. Sleeping well. Are you sleeping well? Well, I can just tell you statistically, almost half of you are not sleeping well, and this will adversely affect your immune system. What about getting exercise? Well, the scary thing is that probably 25% of you, a full quarter of you, are not getting any exercise at all. And most of the rest of you are not getting 150 minutes a week of moderate aerobic activity, far less. This doesn't include everybody, but for sure, more than half of you are not getting the amount of exercise you need, and exercise is one of the key components to longevity, but also a key component to your immune system. Stress management. Oh, I don't need to pick on that. Everybody I speak to, almost everybody I speak to, is suffering from stress, and the last couple of years have been seemingly more stressful than ever. Lifestyle. Well, no one on this call smokes or drinks or eats junk food. I know you're all healthy living. Ha ha. So what can you do other than those things to make sure that your immune system is working at its optimal? Well, of course, glutathione, raising your glutathione has become one of the major things on this checklist. Now, what is glutathione? I know that there are some new listeners tonight. Glutathione is a little substance that exists in every single cell of our body. We all have glutathione in our body. And without glutathione, life would not be possible. So glutathione is critical for life and critical for immune function. And the surprising thing about glutathione is that most people still have not heard this word. If you stop the man or woman in the street and you ask them about glutathione, most people couldn't tell you what it is. But in science and in medicine, we are absolutely full of articles about glutathione. Right now, there's over 175 published articles that you could find in the medical and scientific journals. Just to put this into context, what does 175,000 articles mean? Well, if you take all the articles in vitamin C and you take all the articles in vitamin E, they come out to about half of the articles on glutathione. So in science, we know about glutathione, but it does take some time to filter down from these very dry, technical journal articles into the public knowledge. But it is happening fast. And one of the reasons why it's happening fast is because of our company, Immunotech. So what does glutathione actually do? What are the major rules? Well, just think of the word idea, I-D-E-A. What does this stand for? Well, glutathione, what a great idea. Idea stands for I, the immune system, D for detoxification, E for energy, and A for antioxidant. Now let's look at these in turn. When we look at the immune system, glutathione is literally food or fuel for our immune function. If glutathione levels are low, you are going to be immunocompromised. If you optimize glutathione levels, you will stand a fighting chance against these threats that face us every day. D stands for detoxification. And the highest levels of glutathione to be found, after all, are in your liver, which is, after all, your major organ of detoxification. And I tell people that next to water, there probably isn't another more important detoxification substance than glutathione. E is for energy. We could spend a whole hour just talking about energy, and maybe we will one of these weeks. We have in our cells these little power plants, these little batteries called mitochondria that deliver energy to the cell. And these mitochondria would literally burn up were it not for a constant supply of glutathione. And we've translated this into many studies and into the sports field. We have a lot of high-level Olympic athletes and elite athletes and NHL teams and NFL teams using Immunical to increase their performance. Finally, A, or antioxidant. This is the one rule that most people recognize. Glutathione has been referred to as our body's master antioxidant. Now, why would we call it the master antioxidant? Well, one good reason is that none of the other antioxidants we know of, and we know somewhere between 2,000 and 4,000 other antioxidants, none of these antioxidants can work without the presence of glutathione. Glutathione recycles these antioxidants. Glutathione recharges these other antioxidants. And you think of antioxidants kind of working like a series of gears in a clock. Well, a clock needs a drive shaft. It needs a spring, and the spring that is driving the whole of antioxidant action in the clock is glutathione. So if you remember these four areas, then you know 90% of what glutathione does in your body. Now, the problem is that all of us are exposed to things every minute of every day that decrease glutathione. Let's just look at some of them. Many drugs decrease glutathione. And in fact, raising glutathione is an antidote for certain overdoses like acetaminophen, with Tylenol, Adderall. We save people's lives by raising glutathione levels. Poor diet, clearly, the food that we're ingesting in great volumes is not doing a lot for your health. And in fact, it's doing a lot against your health, and glutathione can neutralize some of these effects. Injury, trauma, burns, all associated with low glutathione levels. Stress. I read this great article the other week where they measured glutathione levels in people who practiced transcendental meditation. So these people are meditating to calm themselves down, to deal with their stress. Compared their glutathione levels with age-matched controls, and the people who were practicing meditation actually had higher glutathione levels just by controlling their stress. Infection, disease, this is what can I say? Since COVID-19, this has been in our face for 3 years now. And yes, there's been a lot of research done on glutathione and COVID. In fact, hundreds of papers. Pollution, toxins, the food that we eat, the water that we drink, the air that we breathe, even if we're up on top of a mountain or in the middle of the ocean, that we can measure levels of pollution that 30 years ago but never been seen. And the list of substances that glutathione detoxifies, cigarette smoke and automobile exhausts and pesticides and herbicides and heavy metals. Glutathione is critical for us to survive our toxic environment. Aging, the older we get, the lower our glutathione levels become. We drop glutathione levels about 10% every decade. And if you're my age and not doing anything about it, you could be 40 or 50% lower in your glutathione levels. And we've done these studies even 25 years ago on glutathione and aging. We did one on laboratory mice where we extended the lifespan of laboratory mice between 30 and 50%. Of course, we've never done that human study. It's kind of hard to get funding for an 80-year study. Sunlight, when you're in the sunlight or any sort of radiation, you're dropping glutathione. So all of this loss of glutathione leads us all to be glutathione deficient on a daily basis. And we need to be topping up our glutathione, whether you have an active illness or you have health challenges, or you're a perfectly healthy person that wants to prevent these things from happening. Raise your glutathione levels. So how do you raise your glutathione levels? Well, this is possibly the most important slide that you're going to see tonight. You can't eat glutathione and expect it to raise your body's glutathione levels. You can eat glutathione, but it'll rapidly be broken down in your digestive system. There are certain enzymes very high in human intestines that absolutely destroy glutathione. But you'll still see people selling oral glutathione products. These are, for the most part, a waste of time and money. Glutathione needs to be made by your body inside of your cells. And the way to do that is to feed your cells the specific nutrients that your cells require to make glutathione, what we call glutathione precursors. And if you look up Immunical, in Canada, we have a book called a CPS. In the United States, we have a book called a PDR, Physician's Desk Reference. You'll see under Immunical the subtext glutathione precursor. So that's how Immunical works. Immunical contains the building blocks for your cells to be able to make glutathione. When you eat the Immunical, it's easily and fully absorbed. Your cells accept the precursors inside and start to manufacture glutathione. And by raising glutathione levels, you're able to support a strong immune system and able to have at least a fighting chance against all those nasty things that we looked at that decrease glutathione. We've been studying this for over 40 years. And in those 40 years, we've put together so many publications. I'm not sure if you can see it on that slide there, but right now we're over 85 or getting close to 90 publications, 90 printed articles that contain clinical trials, theoretical reviews, and this is just unheard of in our industry to have this many papers on a specific product. So we're all about science. Research is in our DNA, and we will continue in this stream for many, many more years. These are just some of the topics that are covered in the articles that we've published. You see many on cancer, on immunology, but you name it. You name it, and there are not just articles from Immunotech, but of course, rested in that 175,000 articles that you could find online. These two books are the ones I was talking about before, the Physician's Desk Reference and the CPS. One of these books will sit on the desk of every single doctor and every single pharmacist in North America. And in these books are all of the drugs that a doctor can write a prescription for, except when you turn to the letter I and you look up the substance Immunical. It is not a drug, but it shows up in these books that every doctor has access to. And if you want to have your doctor check out what you're taking, and as a physician myself, I think that you should be telling your doctor every supplement, everything that you're taking besides pharmaceuticals. He or she will open up the PDR or CPS and watch their face, watch their jaw drop when they find a natural product listed in one of these two books. So that covers tonight's topic. We got lots of time for questions. There are some links here. You could find more information on glutathione on Facebook, Dr. Jimmy Gutman. There are a lot of videos on glutathione, and I will be posting these conferences on those videos as well. So we'll keep an archive so you can go to. Glutathione.org is a place where you can find my book on glutathione. It's Doug mentioned it's in its 5th edition, and a lot of people were wondering where to get it. You can get it at glutathione.org, but you can also get it on Amazon. You can buy the whole book on Amazon, but more recently, I've put up individual chapters. There's a chapter on glutathione and your immune system that will literally may not even cost you at all if you have a subscription to Amazon Kindle. Otherwise, it'll cost you a couple dollars. So this information is easily readily available. And I welcome you to examine all this. If you're interested in glutathione, there's always something new for you.